Good morning, good morning. How's everybody this morning? This is Vishal Kapoor, your realtor friend from Century 21, Oakville, Ontario, Canada. And I'm here to bring some money saving tips for a house deposit. So yesterday I talked about how to save money fast for a house and how to get a deposit for a house quickly. Today I'm going to talk about how you can lower or edit the deposit that you require. So be with me and thank you for joining me. Really appreciate that. Pretty good temperature today. Yesterday was -5, today's +5, and well, some sunny breakout. So really nice weather. And hope you enjoying your last couple days of 2015. Can't believe that, yes, this year passed pretty fast. So let's talk about so what we covered yesterday. So we covered yesterday around 13 points, like be smart with your money, take it straight out of your pay, downgrade your car, rent out a room or garage, sell your stuff, shop at discount stores, create a second income for yourself, spend money on non-depreciating assets, earn commission and save them, lower the rent you are currently paying and save the difference, encourage your spouse to be a part of the saving process, and save your marriage, go for holiday, and how you can do cheap, and see if anyone would be willing to help you. So those are the tips I shared yesterday, and today we are going to talk about how to lower or alter the money you needed for your deposit. So it is likely that you may be making life harder for yourself than you need to. Many people overestimate the deposit they need to save and create for themselves what seems like a impossible goal. And say most people who's watching this broadcast will be saving for their first house deposit. The first property is always the hardest one to save for because you have no experience and no equity working in your favor. So these tips will help you reduce the deposit you need for your house so that you can buy quicker, buy better, and achieve your dreams of your perfect home sooner rather than later. Because the price is going every day high and high in house property. So sooner you'll do, better you'll be. So I'll start with the point number one today is consider a lower entry point into the market and work your way up. By far the biggest mistake people make when it comes to saving for and buying their first home is that they want the dream and they want it now. They want to live in their dream suburb, which is often out of their price range. It is hard to enter the market, but once you are in the market, it is easier to work your way up to more properties and better suburbs. Consider entering the market in a cheaper suburb and working your way towards the better suburbs. Thank you for joining me, Leslie G, and really appreciate that. If you can tap on the screen, that'll be great. If you like these tips and can share with your followers on Twitter as well, really appreciate that. And we were just talking about considering a lower entry point into the market and work your way up. So buying your first home is really a life decision. So don't stress about having to buy the perfect home right off the bat. Purchasing in a cheaper area will allow you to save your deposit much quicker, and then you can use a growth in equity as a launch pad to a newer and the better property later on. So those that could be a good strategy to do that, not looking into the high suburb areas, high price points. I can tell you around over here, Oakville and surroundings, Oakville is in the very high price range than Burlington, a little bit lower. Milton is again a little bit more lower. Waterdown, Hamilton, Stony Creek, those are some great areas like where you can buy the property. Even from Oakville to other places, like the prices can be different from 50 to 100 grand for the same square footage and everything. So consider that. Second point which I'm going to talk about is work out how much you really need to save. So another mistake like a new buyers make is that they overestimate how much they need to save. Yes, it would be great to save a 20% deposit, as you can avoid lender mortgage insurance, but is that achievable in your time frame? So maybe you only really need to save 10% or even 5% of your deposit, because you can afford the repayments on the larger loan, and you would rather get in now before the market prices increases. So with the first home owners grant, it is even possible to buy a property with a 5% deposit. I'm right. So do those calculations and look at how much realistic it is to save that type of deposit. Most people find it easier to pay a mortgage that they have to pay than to save a deposit that is technically optional to them. So that could be another strategy. The growth you can achieve from owning the property a year or two earlier could actually be far outweigh the extra cost of lender's mortgage insurance. So lender mortgage insurance is going to be there, but in that going to be, it's going to be much less than what you can these days. The prices, the way it's rising, you will make more stuff. But I advise you the legal stuff about that. Speak to your lender to find out how much you need to buy a house and how much you can afford to borrow. Maybe you can lower your deposit to 5%, but you can only purchase a unit worth $350,000 and not $400,000. So do your research, and definitely that will help you out. Third point, I'm going to use it we all have, if you're not doing it till now, start doing it right now, is the registered saving plan, RSP. You can also use your RSP if you don't know to buy it. If you have money already saved in registered retirement saving plan, the CRA, Canada Revenue Agency, allow you to borrow from those funds under certain conditions. You can borrow up to $25,000 from your RSP if you're a first-time home buyer, defined as someone who has not owned a home in 4 years. If you're purchasing the home with the spouse, he or she can also withdraw up to $25,000 for their own RSPs. So if you can both borrow, and it's a $50,000 for a deposit, which you don't have to come out from your pocket, because that money is sitting over there, not earning you that much interest or anything. You can borrow that money. About the RSP, in the second year after the withdrawal, you begin paying the funds back into the RSP for a period of 15 years. If any year you do not make the required prepayment, the amount is included in your taxable income. Normally, it's not much depending upon what you're doing. It can be $400-$500. That's not in a year. That's not much. Some financial planners recommend borrowing money to make RSP contributions, then withdrawing them under the house, which is called HBP, home buyers plan. There are risk and rules surrounding the strategy and should be discussed with the tax consultant before attempting any of this thing. So basically, I recommend every time you're doing anything, consult your professional first, and they can give you the better advice based on your criteria, not in general. Other point which I can say, if you're thinking of buying a house, you can lower down your deposit is by maybe you consider a dual occupancy for your home. So if you are in the situation where you feel you need to save a large deposit because you can't afford the mortgage repayments, then you may want to consider dual occupancy. You can purchase a property, say a 4-bedroom house, and convert it into 2x2 bedroom flats. Live in half of the property, rent out the other half. This rent will lower your required contributions and may mean you can afford to purchase a property with a lower deposit. Interest-only loans can also reduce your monthly payment and make the loans more affordable. So do I buy houses? I buy houses for myself, for investment purpose if it's a great property. But I do buy and sell for my clients, not for myself. But those are the points which I'm talking about, what you can do. I bought at Oakville in Ontario, Canada, and surrounding areas. Those are the areas which I prefer. And these are the area which I know, so I can help my clients in these areas. So if you're interested, then you can connect with me and tweet me. I'll be happy to help you out. So other thing which you can do, the point, Maryland in US, I believe. No, I'm not that much sure about that. I leave it for my referral partners. Maybe I can recommend somebody over there we're thinking about, but not at the moment, not about Maryland. So next point is going to be, you can consider a house instead of a unit. I must admit that this tip is a little obscure, but there are a few reasons how your house can help. You're welcome. So talking about how a house can help you save your deposit quicker. So units sometimes need more security. Some units, especially units under 50 square meters, require a higher deposit as security because the banks see them as a riskier investment. They want more security before offering you a loan. Also, affording the strata fees can be expensive as well. So early access also can increase the value. This is a bit tricky, but if you purchase a rundown property, you can ask for early access to get it ready to rent or live in. If you can get early access, you can spend that time renovating the property and increasing its value as well. Then get the bank to value it before you move in. If they value it higher than the purchase price, you can use your equity as a deposit. And that's the other tip. This can be risky if you don't have the money for the deposit. If it get value at the same rate as the purchase price, even after renovations. So always speak to the seller, your lender, and a qualified accountant before attempting this. Get your real estate consultant who's helping you. He can give you the tip about that too, and get the professional who's specialized in that area. Other way you can do that is invest with a friend or family member. If you go halves in a property with a friend or family member, then that can significantly reduce your deposit, because you only need a half a deposit, not a full deposit. Always, and also when you're doing in the partnership like that, always have an exit strategy if you decide to do this. If things go pear-shaped, shapes to have already decided your way out. So make sure that always have the exit strategy when you're going on that kind of friend or family investing along with you, and things didn't go well. What are you going to do then? So make sure that you have the proper strategy without ruining your relationship with a friend and family, and that's what I recommend. And the last point which I'm going to say is buy and build a duplex. So this is an extension of the tip above about buying with friends and family. You can purchase a block of land and build a duplex so that you can each have your own separate house. You can create separate titles for each of the duplexes, or just keep them on one title. Two titles always great, because then if one of you need to sell it, is much more straightforward, as you will each own one duplex. This can reduce your required deposit because you are buying it together. It can also add more value to the properties than it costs you for the land plus building. So you can gain some good equity. So in the last, what I will say is saving for a house is a big ordeal. It is time consuming, stressful, and required sacrifice. So not every one of these tips will appeal to you, which I provided, but it is likely that you can use many to these steps together to speed up the time it takes you to save your deposit. And time is right now. So like sooner you'll start your journey, sooner you start saving it, sooner you're going to achieve your dream of buying a house. So again, my name is Vishal Kapoor. I'm a realtor with Century 21, Oakville, Ontario, Canada, and I provide like a daily tips for home buyers and home sellers. Now I'm heading out, like, and we're doing some review of some houses for my buyers, and I'll talk to you guys tomorrow. So feel free to share my broadcast with her, and if you're a replay viewer, really appreciate your heart as well. Thank you so much for encouraging me and listening to me, and supporting me with your all your support and all your love. Thank you so much, and have a wonderful day.